the Snowflake SQL video series and my channel Data Engineering Simplified. In this episode 4, we will continue our discussion around context functions and we'll see one general and 5 session context function in action and how they can be used for different purpose. We all know the context functions are very powerful in Snowflake but not used as frequently as expected. We have already covered 13 context function in our previous episodes. Refer the card above for the playlist link. So let's start. This is the full list of context function supported and provided by Snowflake as on today. We have already covered 13 context function which comes under general, session and session object. In this video, we are going to cover current client under general context function and session context function like all usernames, current account, current available role, current session and current statement. Where can I find the SQL script used in this episode? You can go to my website. The link is given below in the description section and you can find all the SQL script used in this episode. Where can I find the Snowflake documentation? The Snowflake documentation is available in docs.snowflake.com and you can find the link below in the description section. So let's quickly see the definition of context function as per the Snowflake. So first is a current client. If the ANSI is not supported, it means that you cannot use that context function without bracket. So Snowflake provide different client to interact with Snowflake instance. Snowflake Cloud Data Warehouse has many interfaces. For example, JDBC, ODBC, or Snowsight, SnowSQL, and many more. Each of them comes with a version. And when you use this current client function, it not only tells through which client you are connected, but it also tells which version of the client is being used to interact with the Snowflake. If you call this function through the JDBC or ODBC driver, it returns the driver version rather than the connector version or the version of that interface. So how it is going to be useful for a developer or for the data team? You might be connecting your Snowflake through the Power BI or a Tableau or any other mechanism, and internally they used some kind of connector or a JDBC connector. If a particular function is deprecated over a period of time and if that driver is not upgraded, it may not support. And to debug that stuff, you may have to use this current client function to understand which version is being used. Let's talk about the current account. Return the account name used by user's current session. So when you create a free trial edition, you will have only one account per organization. There is a concept of organization within Snowflake. One organization can have many accounts. This function is not really that useful, or if your organization has only one account, this function doesn't make much sense. Current session is an important function. We have seen in the previous video how does it work. So it returns a unique system identifier for the Snowflake session corresponding to the present connection. This will generally be a system generated alphanumeric string. However, we have seen in our previous video, this is not an alphanumeric, this is always numeric. And this does not depend on your username or user ID. Current statement. This is a very interesting function. However, I have not found any useful use case. What it says that it returns the SQL text of the statement that is currently executing. All username. This function returns all usernames in the current account, not login name. Don't get confused with the login name. Login name might be different. So if you are working with Active Directory, your login name might be your Active Directory or your Microsoft 365 email address. As a best practice, Snowflake suggests that your username and login name value should be different, because this all user name can be executed by any user and it comes from your cloud service layer. And if I know your username, I can really lock your account by giving wrong password for 3 to 4 times, and we will see this in action. Current available role. This return a string varchar that lists all roles granted to the current user. So this we have seen in episode 1 and 2, that how you can really switch the context and one user can have a multiple role. Specifically when you are using in a multi-project environment, you might have a different role under the different project. And this function will really help you to know what all roles are available for your profile. Let's jump into the live demo. We will use Snowflake free trial edition to exercise the SQL scripts. So here I am with my Snowflake free account and we are going to see how this 6 context function works. So let's try and see how the current client function works when I fire a query using my legacy web UI. It shows that I am using Snowflake UI along with a version. If I try without bracket, it throws me an error. It means that this context function, and for that matter, all of them has to be used with the bracket. Now let's try what does it print when I use SnowSQL or a JDBC driver. Let me try the JDBC first. So I am using the dbeaver thick client, which is installed in my machine, and I am running this current client statement. Since it does not need any warehouse, it fetches the data through the metadata services. It is not printing what kind of client it is, but however it is printing that it is JDBC driver having a version 3.12.12. I am connected to the Snowflake with the same account using my SnowSQL client. And here I'm going to print select. As I start typing, the auto suggest started, and I can scroll down and select it using the curly braces, and let me print the value. So now the result brings the current client is a SnowSQL having a version 1.2.10. So this is how you can use the current client function, and so why this function is given by Snowflake and where it can be used. If you go to the query history table, the query history table does not capture the client version. If you have a stored procedure which is being called by different client for a different common purpose, and if you want to capture that which client is using this particular stored procedure, you can, for the audit purpose, you can use this context function. So before I really fire a query to the query history table, I have to switch my role, and let me print first 20 rows. Let me expand. Here you see I have everything about database name, schema, session, username, role name, and many more other information. However, none of the place it shows what kind of client or what kind of driver and what kind of version is used. It only says that this particular query was fired on Snowflake version 5.29.1, but this is not the version of the connector or the driver. Now let me switch back my role to the system admin. Now let's fetch the current account detail, indeed a simple context function. It also doesn't work in ANSI way. Many of you might ask a question that what is the account and why do I need to fire, because I can anyhow fetch the account detail from the profile menu, right? Here I can say this is my account and this is my organization. So let's see what is the relationship between account and organization. So Snowflake has introduced the concept of organization recently. It was not there in their initial version. You can only have an account. If you are an org admin, this is a new role they have added. You would be able to see an icon on your screen like this if you're using a legacy VPY. And this organization can have many accounts, and each account can belong to a different Snowflake region, and it can have a different Snowflake edition. For example, marketing has an enterprise edition on AWS region, and sales department has a standard edition on Azure. So this is how you can have a multiple account, and each of the account can be placed within the organization. This helps you to manage your multiple account under a single organization, and you can do a lot more other things under a single panel. So I hope this clarify the relationship between organization and account, and this is how we can use the what is my current account if I'm working in a multi-account environment. Let's come back to our worksheet. Now let's try a current statement context function, an interesting one, and let's see how does it work. It prints itself, and let me try to run without brackets. No, it doesn't work. Okay, let me show you a slightly more complex query where I have three different functions. What result does it bring? So it gives more clarity how this function really works. So here you see that current client gives you a current client, account gives you account, and current statement prints itself from end to end. Let's try some more examples. If I am going to set the variable with this functions, and when I try to print the value of set here, which represent the current statement, it not only prints the current statement, it prints the entire SQL statement, including the set function. So now you know how this function really behaves. Let me show you another example which has a variable replacement. So here I have set a variable called pi with a value 2.27. Let me run this. I'm using this variable in a select statement. That select statement also has a context function current statement. So you see the value of pi is replaced with actual value. However, the current statement does not replace the actual value. So the variable is not replaced when the current statement is executed. So we cannot fetch the replaced value for any audit purpose if we are thinking that it can be used in a stored procedure where a parameter is being passed. So be careful how to use this current statement context function. I have really not found any valid use case where I can use this context function in a meaningful way. Let's see another interesting function called all username. This seems a very simple one, but it shows a very interesting result. So here I use this all user names along with my own current user and my current role. So I am having a current role system admin and my user name is an admin, and my login name is also admin, which is a very common thing to keep your admin username as an admin. However, Snowflake suggests never ever use your login ID as your username. And why? We will see that. So let me use this all username with flatten function and let me print all the usernames. So first of all, I have specifically given an alias here. So this is not your Snowflake does not support the login name. So if you want to know all the login name, Snowflake has no such function. You have to go to the user menu under the account section. Here it prints all the username. Now I have created a user called superadmin, and this username is also having the same login ID as superadmin. Now why Snowflake says that you should not have your username as a login ID? Because the moment anybody from any account can see all the username and assume that I do not have a right intention, what can I do? I can use this user name assuming that this is also a user ID, and I can really lock your account and create an inconvenience for rest of the users. I am logging in with superadmin first. So I managed to log in successfully. It looks like I have a role called project admin and my login ID as well as my name is a super admin. And when I switch my role to the account admin, account tab and users tab, I can see that this user is right now enabled and it is functioning appropriately. Now let's log this user. So let me log out. I guessed that this user name is same as a login ID. So I am giving some incorrect password and trying to log this user. So the first time it says incorrect user ID password. Second time it says incorrect user ID password. Third time incorrect user ID password. And I am trying few more times. Now after few attempts, generally 5, it says user temporarily logged. Try later again and contact your local administrator. Now let's go back to the user screen and see how does it look like. Now here you see because of that failed attempt, which can also happen naturally. But since I try to hack this account, I type incorrect credentials and this account is locked. As an admin, you can click on this row and you can unlock the user by clicking on unlock. So here it shows that it is locked until some time, and that's what you have to be very, very careful while using your username equals to login name or within your Snowflake instance. Now let's see another interesting function called current available role, and I'm using this function with current user and current role. My username is admin and my current role is admin, and as an admin role or as this user I can access so many other roles. Let me print all the users in a more tabular format using a flatten function. So if you use flatten function, which in general returns a variant type, and if you do not cast, you will get all the values with a double quote, but I casted it to a string, and this is how the result comes. So as an admin user, I can really switch role to the different roles, okay? And this can happen that if you're working on a very complex environment and there are many logical data projects, you have to switch a role, and we have covered in detail how to switch a role in our episode 1. So how does it look if you have a read-only profile or a limited profile? So I have another profile called read-only, and let me switch to that profile. So this profile is called read-only. So I successfully logged in. You see that the name of the user is read-only user. However, its login name is read-only. So before I do anything, let me first understand what is its current role using a SQL statement. I am a read-only user, which is the name of the user, and I am having a public role, which is my current role. What different role I can access it? If I print this way, it gives me only one entry. Let me print in more readable way. When I have used through the flatten function, I can only access public role, which is my only role. So this is a very useful function. If nobody has given any detail like how many roles you have it, and if you want to understand the different role you have with the user ID, you can really use this current available roles and make sure that you have a proper understanding. So I hope this six function gives a lot of meaningful idea that how you can use these functions for a different use cases or a different problem statement. Thank you for watching this video. For those of you who are visiting my channel first time, I request you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and press the bell icon to get the notifications. If this content is meaningful and helping you in your day-to-day work, press the like button and also share your feedback via comment section. And yes, before you go, if you are benefiting from any of my content, I would love to hear about your success story. Please share it in the link down below.